Okay, hi. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and I'm making this testimony because it personally helped me when I was on my way to Jesus and when I was seeking for the truth, to see so many testimonies on YouTube and to see that I'm not the only one. The stuff that I've experienced, it's not only me who experienced this. So I hope maybe it can be useful to somebody else as well. So yeah, and I'll make a quick testimony in here. So yeah, sorry, I'm not a vlogger. I don't know how to do that, and so yeah, that's why I'm just like saying sorry straight away. So yeah, as I said, I believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I believe that He is the Son of God. I believe that He is God. I believe in the Holy Trinity. I believe that the Bible is the truth. I believe that Jesus Christ is real and that He's alive. And I believe that the Bible is a very up-to-date book and it's real and it's alive as well. And every single word on there is written is the truth. So that's what I believe in. I'm non-denominational, but I follow a lot of full gospel ministries all over the world, and I talk to a lot of people nowadays, and I have a lot of Christian friends all over the world as well. I'm not denominational, as I said, but I do believe in the relationship with Jesus Christ. So I believe that you should have like a relationship with God. Like, I believe that you can be church going on Sundays, like a typical, person, and just go on churches on Sundays and watch all the sermons and stuff like that. But unless you have this relationship with Jesus Christ yourself, it really doesn't matter, and it's pointless. So that's what I believe in, because there are a lot of people like who go into mega churches in the US, for example, but it's like they go there for like once or twice a week and stuff like that, but they don't know Jesus themselves, they don't know them personally, and they don't really, so that's what I think is not normal. And to be frank, I believe that churches really should live like in Book of Acts. I don't think that it's just a history book. I believe that it's a real thing, and we should be as disciples of Jesus Christ and live as Him, because He gave us an example and He told us how to live. So yeah, I believe that we're still in the New Testament, and that's what I believe in. So yeah, that's what I said. And I'm sorry for the noise in here. So yeah, I'll probably wait for the noise. I'm sorry. Sorry, part 2. I'm really sorry for the noise that happened there. So yeah, and what I stopped on. So speaking of my testimony, I came to know that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, and that Christianity is real basically in 2016, and it was emotionally a very hard year for me. And I think to many people, as you actually ask around or anyone it's like it was a very strange year. Even though nowadays, like 2022, I think people are very delusional and something is really going on, but people prefer just to act normal when everything is basically abnormal. And agape, like love, actually really grows cold, and people become like less and less human. So it's like sort of weird, but yeah, something like really, like people prefer to be blind nowadays. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, personally to me 2016 was a very strange and like really pushing year. So I was 19 years old. I was studying in Melbourne, Australia. I was studying at RMIT University and was studying design, but it's like I was 19, and so it was a very strange year. And to be frank, I'm not quite sure, but it feels like somebody probably was praying for me or something like that, because there are a lot of strange things happened, which was not a coincidence, but it just happened there. And so yeah, something like that. So at the beginning of the year, I was 19 and I met a guy, but the relationships didn't work, and basically I got depressed because of that. But because basically, like, my parents, they're 21, they got married, and I was 19 years old, and the relationship didn't work, which I'm actually really happy now, but it's like at that point I felt like really depressed. So it was the beginning of the year, and then suddenly, like, there was a guy, like a friend of the guy that I used to date before, and I used to go like nightclubs, seeing guys dating, a bit of adultery, it's like stuff like that before, and I was like, yeah. So this guy, it happened that he appeared at my party that was at my place somehow, and we quickly became friends. Like, we became like really, really good friends with that guy, the friend of the guy that I used to date before. And so the strange stuff happened after that. It's like, I'm not quite sure if it's the truth or if he lied to us, but that situation really pushed me like out of my comfort zone, and to where I am now as well, I think. So what really happened? So his dad is real, like, super, super rich, right? And so his dad's competitor is also his friend, but he somehow poisoned my friend's dad so that he got into coma. Like, scientifically, I don't know how it happens, and like superficially, he got into coma, and then straight after that, they started like pressuring my friend that he would sell his dad's works to them, or basically they kill all of his friends and their families, like, which is us. So he came to us and he told us about this, and we were like really devastated because we couldn't do anything. We couldn't call the police. We couldn't ask anyone for help. We were really devastated, and like we felt like real bad because basically we were just like there. And yeah, so stuff like that, and it was like real hard. So we knew that we had only a few days left and we couldn't do anything. And it's like, as such moments like this, when you have no resources, nothing can help you. It's like when you have only hope left and like believe in God, basically, like if He exists, right? So that happened to me, and I was at night when I was alone. I suddenly remembered that I'm Orthodox, that I'd heard about like Jesus when I was like really, really little and stuff like that, and I got onto my knees at night and I said like, God, I believe that you exist. I believe that Jesus Christ is your son. I believe that He came to the earth in the flesh and that He died for my sins on the cross. I believe that He died on the cross and that He got resurrected on the third day and He is alive. Please save me. That's what I said, and I went to sleep. I don't know why I said it. I don't know why exactly, but I just said it and I went to sleep. And what I know that things started changing after that. Like a lot of things started changing like straight after that, and like spiritually wise, I cannot explain, but it's like things started like really, really changing. So what happened? 3 days later, my friend, he came and he said that everything got sorted out. He sorted it out, he sold the works, and we are safe now, everything's okay as usual, like everything's fine. And we were all happy, but it's like, situations like this just push you out of your comfort zone, and it pushed me like really a lot to think about my life choices, to, like to think about serious stuff and the meaning of life, and if there's an afterlife at all, because today you are, but nothing is promised, right? You don't know what happens tomorrow, and you don't know a lot of things and stuff like that. And I realized that I was going to uni as usual, but my life has changed. My world has changed like a lot, because all these people at the university, they were living their life like nothing has happened. But, oh sorry. So yeah, so those people at the university, they were living their normal lives like nothing has happened. But I realized that we all live in our bubbles, right? In our comfort zones, and maximum what we think about is what we buy tomorrow for breakfast and stuff like that. So we go to sleep, think about our life, like small things that we need to do like every single day. We rarely think about the person, like other people. We don't really think, and we go to sleep and we don't know what's going on. Maybe like there is some guy on the other part of the world and he basically planted a bomb, and like there is like an end of the world tomorrow, something like that. But you don't know this. You just simply don't know a lot of things. You don't know a lot of stuff. And that's what like pushed me, because I started thinking about comfort zones and all those bubbles we live in, and how it depends on you, and basically like how much you push it, right? And that we live a pretty selfish life as well, because all we do, we just think about ourselves all the time. So I started thinking about deep questions and like perceptions of people, and that every single person has his own perception. But the truth is only one, There's only yes or no, and there is no like, I believe that there is only like one truth and stuff like that. My parents are both engineers, and like I'm a theory person, but I believe in practice, and if it doesn't work in the practice, I think it should be like double checked, you know what I mean? Like I believe I'm a very logical being, so I believe that it should be working if it's the truth, So yeah, so straight after that, I started thinking about a lot of different things, and afterlife, and what's right, what's wrong. and I started reading a lot about history. And to be frank, back in school, I was not like I didn't really study history because I was not interested in that. And suddenly I started reading about news, history, like, and I started seeing that why people is like this, why there were so many wars. And back in 2016, at that point of time, not even taken nowadays, right? There were 40 wars going on in countries, like in 40 different countries we're having wars right there. And I simply didn't know this. I was living my comfort life in Melbourne, in Australia, thinking about what sort of coffee I want to drink for morning. And I didn't know that there were wars going on, that people were suffering. It was not on the news, it was not published. No one knew about this as well, like, unless you actually search the topic and you basically, unless you're interested in this. And I've read about all those wars that were happening before this, and injustice and suffering and unfairness and everything like bad was happened. And I was thinking like why this happens, like why is people sometimes treat other people bad, or like for the stuff that happens sometimes. Like I was thinking about all these questions. I was getting depressed. I was already depressed, but I was just like thinking about a lot of things. And yeah, so I was getting depressed, and I started waking up and asking if God exists, like, God, where are you? And what has really happened, like, I went on the street and somebody gave me like a free Bible, you know, like those free stuff, like people on the street give, like street preaching stuff. So somebody gave the Bible and I just picked it up. So I had the Bible now and I started reading it. And I started reading this Bible, and then I remember like I kept asking like, oh God, where are you? And I kept asking and wondering. And then one time I went to the lab at night and I was standing there and I saw that somebody left the Bible on the desk. And it was mind-blowing to me because I was like, somebody, his own faith, he left something so precious to him for somebody else, you know, in the lab. Like he literally left something he believed in, like, for somebody else. Like, I don't know, I was mind-blown when I saw that, when I saw the Bible, and I picked it up. So I had 2 Bibles now, and I was really, really mind-blown by that. It was like, man, somebody left the Bible for somebody else. I mean, it's really cool. So, and I was reading the New Testament. So I was reading the New Testament. I was reading everywhere. I was reading like when I was like on the road, like in my free time. I was on the plane to Russia. I read the entire New Testament. I've studied the Old Testament. So I've been reading a lot. And what I've started noticing is that surroundings around like started changing. Like the stuff around me started changing, you know. So it's just like I was reading the Bible, but like the life around me started changing by itself, and I was like, I just kept reading, you know. I just kept reading. I could not understand the Old Testament. I was like thinking that all the things were really strange, and but I kept reading, and I kept reading, and I don't know how to explain that, but spiritually wise, I could really feel like changes, like something was going on, and some strange little things started happening, which was not a coincidence, and I kept analyzing it, like registering it in my mind, you know. So that was going on, what's happening. And yeah, sorry. Part 3, I'm so sorry, just like there's always like a background noise or something like that. So yeah, so my surroundings, they kept changing, and I kept feeling that something was like definitely different, and that reading the Bible was actually making a difference. I don't know how. It's like I was getting physically exhausted because of I was doing my final project. I was really emotionally exhausted. I was feeling really bad, but at the back of my mind, I could still like register what was going on around and like differences and stuff like that. So something like that. So also like I was getting really exhausted because I don't know, like suddenly there was like paranormal activities that started happening at our place. And I used to share a flat with my friend, a guy friend, and my friend, Malaysian friend. And Lord, there's so many idolatry in Asian cultures. It's like because of their ancestors, because of their history, culture, they have so much idolatry in their lives that's like really, really dangerous. And idolatry is like, it's really, really dangerous. It's like, it's not just a thing that, for example, somebody gave you a gift, right? But you don't know who, like, maybe there was like some wish said something on this, like, and suddenly there is something happening in your life and stuff like that, and you have no idea why. It's so real, everything like this. It's like it's the most real thing you could experience as well. because it's like, and it can be really really dangerous, honestly. So a lot of stuff like mass media and like some cute little things, they're actually idolatry, and it's actually like really really bad, and it can really affect your life. So what happened? Suddenly my friend, she brought like a dream catcher to our flat, and it's definitely okay, but suddenly she started like seeing nightmares, you know, and she kept like seeing nightmares every single night and stuff like that, and it was like really really weird because she was really scared and she was really exhausted because of that. So that was happening. And also after that, it's like she and other friends of ours, they suddenly decided to go to some like Buddhist temple and do like a fortune telling there. Like it's a custom thing for Malaysians, and it's like very normal for them, so they went there. I didn't go, I was not interested in that, so I stayed. But then suddenly straight after that, like in our apartment, there suddenly started happening like all the stuff like paranormal activities that my friend was experiencing, and I have no idea what was going on, and I did not see it and I did not feel it. So for example, so she kept seeing nightmares every single night and was like really really abusive. So she kept seeing those nightmares every single night, and then suddenly her stuff started moving around. Like her stuff would disappear and appear in different places, like completely strange. She started feeling like this egg smell, like egg spoiled smell everywhere, and she even asked me like, is there trash like full or something like that. I was like, no, Ash, our apartment is pretty clean, you know, everything is clean. And she kept feeling the smell, but I couldn't smell it, and I was like, okay, this is strange. So that was going on, and then it kept happening, and then we used to share like a double bed with her. So she suddenly started waking up like, and like she had bruises on her legs, and I was like, Ash, I don't kick you at night. I just sleep. I'm like a normal person, you know, I hope. So I was telling her that so there was like so many strange things happening straight after that. So they're speaking about fortune telling and horoscopes. Fortune telling is like really dangerous, you know. It's like it's not just a little thing you do. You actually open a gate to something. You give a legal right to things that's actually like invisible, and they have like curses on you, you know. Stuff can start happening in your life that you would not want to be happening in your life. So just remember that for your safety, you know. So suddenly I remember one night I was like, I could feel at night there's some stuff being like some sort of like a power being pressuring me from above, and it's like I got really really fearful, and it's like at night and I was like by myself or something, I don't know. I was really emotionally and physically exhausted because I was doing my final project, and I was not registering like in my mind that something really strange happening there, that some power or something like pressuring me down. I was not like paying attention to that, but I could feel like some sort of like power was like pressuring me down like real bad at night, and I was like really scared and something like that. And then I saw a night dream, like, so I started seeing nightmares. So I started seeing nightmares, a lot of nightmares at night, and it was like, it actually was the same nightmare, but as well as like really really exhausting. It was really bad and it was like repetitive, like really exhausting me every single night. And also I started like, so I woke up one night and then I saw another dream, and then in the dream I saw that like something like closed my eyes and I felt blind, and it's like I was in a fog, you know, like I couldn't see. And then I started talking to my friend Ashley like, hey Ash, I feel blind and stuff like that. And then the dream stopped and I woke up. So the thing is, when I woke up, I actually felt blinded. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like I could feel this fog in my head. It's like really really foggy, like something has closed your eyes, like something invisible like on top of your head, like something has closed your eyes, but you don't see it, but you literally can feel it. And it's like I started talking to Ashley about this, like, hey, I feel like really strange, I feel like I'm in a fog or something, like really really foggy, and I don't know what it is. We had no idea what it is, but it's like we had the conversation, so we discussed that a bit. And then I started seeing like smelling this like real weird egg spoiled smell in our apartment. And then she was like, you feel it too, right? And I'm like, yeah, I feel it, I actually smell it. And it's like I couldn't get the source of this smell. And yeah, and I started like getting like really weird thoughts popping up my head sometimes, like really really weird thoughts that usually I would not think of. So that was crazy, that was really crazy. And I was feeling like really really exhausted. So I was feeling really really exhausted and real bad, and that stuff was happening. and I withdrew myself from people, from friends. I was really depressed. It's like I was getting depressed, but I kept reading the Bible. So I kept reading the Bible. I read the New Testament, and then I finished my final project. And then my friends, they saw that I was sort of depressed, but they tried to get me back to nightclubs. Hey, let's hang out. I was like, no, guys, it doesn't work this way. And at the same time, I was searching for the meaning of life in my life, you know. I was seeking really, like, having the really deep questions. So what happened, like, in winter, I flew back home in deep autumn, and then I was, like, at home, and it was, like, winter, and I was staying by myself a lot, so that was not helping. I was actually depressed and stuff, but I was actually still asking a lot of questions. So, so I was at home, and somehow weird, I was depressed, but it's like, it seems like my parents, they haven't noticed that, or they just didn't pay attention, you know, like they didn't care. So that's really weird. Really weird. And then what has happened? I kept reading the Bible. And one day, okay. So there was also one thought. Before I flew home, I was like, I remember one time I had a panic attack, but it's like I could feel that it's like spiritual, like it's not just a panic attack, you know. And I just basically like stood on my knees and I started praying like, God, where are you? Something like that. And then I could feel like fog would just like disappear a little bit more. And I was just like, oh wow. So I ran in the library, in our university library. And then I remember like I was not even seeking for God that much, but it's like I started Googling like what to do with the fog in your head, like malnutrition, I don't know, deprivation of sleep or something like that, how like the effects of this stuff. And then I remember I was seeking this on the internet, and just to say, I was not talking about God to anyone, I was seeking by myself, right? Suddenly I saw the Target ad on my right side saying like, you need God something, and the Bible ad. And I was so mind blown. I was like, I went straight away to the librarian and I said like, do you have a Bible in here in the library? And she was like, nope. Just to say, RMIT University is one of like, it's a really rich university. They have like 3 libraries. And I was like, can you search if you have a Bible in the library? And she's like, so she did like a quick search. She said like, no, we don't have a Bible. And I was so mad. I was like, you're a library and you have no Bible. It's actually like really confusing, you know? So yeah, so back to the topic. So I flew home. I was really depressed by myself. My parents, they seemed like they didn't care and they didn't pay attention. So the point is, I was home and suddenly one day, my mom and me, we were having dinner at the restaurant. And then at the restaurant, we were eating something. And then I didn't talk to this topic about my mom as well. And then suddenly my mom, she started talking like, she read some book, like a candle or something, and then there was about this guy who was a prisoner, and then there was another prisoner, and suddenly all the prisoners, they killed that guy. And I remember I had the thoughts popping in my head, like, probably they did this because that guy, he was innocent, like, other prisoners just killed him for no reason. I was like, maybe that guy, he had something like other people didn't have. Like, he probably had something like other didn't or something. I don't know, that was just my strange thought, but the strange thing was that the book she was reading, it was actually a religious book, and I was like, that's an interesting thing. So I just noticed that, and then on the way home, like we were driving, and I felt real fog on my head, like really real heavy fogginess. So real fogginess, I felt real bad. So me and my mom, we got home. Then my parents, they went upstairs, they went to sleep, and our house, it's actually not in the town, but next to the forest. It's like 15 kilometers of the like town, and then it's like, it was winter, it was night, my parents went to sleep. I went to read a magazine or something, and I was reading a magazine, and I could feel like this heavy fog in my head, and it's like me being like, my thoughts are so thick and so like, how to say that? I felt like really dumb. I don't know how to say that. I really felt like real like not myself. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, I just realized that something is going on and I'm not myself, and that I've been depressed for more than half of the year. And it's like I'm trying to seek God, but at the same time I withdrew myself from the church, and there was like a youth church in Australia, in Melbourne, but somehow I like didn't talk to them about anything. I just withdrew myself from them, and I went there like a few times. And then suddenly it's like I started realizing a lot of things, and then it's like suddenly it just like a lot of stuff started like just got downloaded in me. So first of all, I realized that I was really depressed, and then something has been manipulating me the entire year, like half of the year at least, like something is intelligent and is not my friend, you know. it's like I realized that half of the year at least I tried to do something, but then I kept like pushed back from the road that I was trying to make, or like the thing that I wanted to do. It's like kept changing my mind, kept changing my mind, and I was like not progressing, and I couldn't do that. And I realized that something has been like very exhausting me a lot, like pressuring me down all the time. And this something has an intelligence that it's like it's spiritual being that is real. And then that I was just like, wait a moment. And I realized that spiritual warfare is real. There is something going on, some like resistance. I realized that God is real. I've been reading the Bible, and that God is real. God is Jesus Christ. The Bible is the truth. Everything is real. There is God. There is like some other power that tries to resist God. I've been manipulated by something. I'm not myself. I'm a sinner, because I just realized that a lot of people try to contact me and talk to me during the year, and I would just brush them off, just hurt them. And I was like, I'm a sinner and I need salvation. And then once I realized that, like something just like pushed my body to the side, like my head to the side, and just like roared out of me or something. And I got so scared, because basically something manifested in me and was alien to my body. It was not me, and it just basically pushed my head out of my wheel. And I'm such a person that don't even watch like horror movies, on the internet. Like anyway, I'm just like I can't sleep after that. So I got really scared. I was so scared, and I freaked out. So I really freaked out, and I freaked out because of two things. First of all, that heaven and hell exist, and I had something alien in my body. It's like I got so scared, and it was like I got scared on some emotional, intelligent level, because you realize that hell exists, like heaven exists and hell also exists, and it's real, and that you need salvation, and that we are people and we need to change our lives. And then second thing I realized, like my friends, most of them are just doing some drugs or had adultery in their lives, or like done like some bad stuff in their lives, before. So it's like I was so scared. I was like, I need to tell my friends. That was crazy, like real crazy. So yeah, and then running out of battery again. But yeah, wait. So part 4. I'm sorry, there was like a rain and all sorts of noises. So yeah. It was a new level of fear for me, because it was like a fear understanding that hell and heaven exist, and that all this like stuff is real, and that there is this like invisible world that we don't see, but it's all real. So it doesn't matter you believe it or not, it's just there. It's like a table and a chair. It's just you see the table and the chair, but you don't see this invisible world. And it's partly like it's your problem, because you don't seek it, you don't seek understanding of the meaning of life, or you don't try to understand how everything works, and you don't you're not asking questions, So it's like a lack of knowledge, but it's not there. It's huge and it's there. It's just we don't see it, and it's all real. So I got really scared. I understood that I'm a sinner, that I have a lot of I've hurt a lot of people. I've done a lot of mistakes in my lives. I've sinned a lot, and I can't be justified. I need salvation, and I need to ask forgiveness for all those stuff. Like I'm not a good human, So I was really scared, and I asked for every single, I've been praying every single day for at least an hour. I've been asking forgiveness for every single sin I could think of. I remembered every single sin in my life I could think of, and I've been asking for forgiveness every single day, for every single one of them, and praying all the time, reading the Bible till 4 a.m. in the morning. I've been praying a lot. So straight after that, I think because I suddenly woke up and my eyes were open and understood that there is a lot of the reality of this world, and that there is hell and heaven exists and stuff like that. Suddenly there is a lot of paranormal activity started happening at my place. I think because it's the sin and everything that had a grudge on you and a hold on you, it tries to attack you straight away. And it's because you become sort of dangerous to this world in a way, because you know the truth and you know that Jesus Christ exists, and suddenly you want to tell it to everyone, because you're just man, we need salvation, we are wrong, and we need to cut sin, and and a lot of other different things you suddenly realize. So I got really scared, and then so there were some paranormal activities, and it didn't matter if it's at night or daytime, especially when I'm alone. It just kept happening at my place. It was really scary. So for example, I was so scared. I was even scared to sleep because I was so scared to go to hell. I covered myself with Bibles. I slept with lights. I was so scared even to go to the bathroom. I kept praying like a lot. I kept asking God for direction. I kept asking God for forgiveness for all my sins. I've read the Bible till 4 a.m. in the morning. I've been searching on the internet a lot of things and trying to understand and stuff like that. I don't know, like a lot of different things. So, yeah. So something kept waking me up every single day. Like suddenly started seeing a lot of nightmares, and something like did not let me sleep. It just did not let me sleep. It just kept waking me up all the time, and I could hear some noises that I'll play sometimes and something like that. And then at some point, for example, I was reading something on the internet, and then suddenly I decided to go to drink some water in the kitchen. And then while I was on the way to the out of my room, I stepped on something with my leg, on something like a tail, and then I pulled my leg back, and I saw that there is nothing. And then I heard a noise like something dragged something to the corner, and I was like shocked. I was so mind blown. It's like, so there is like this invisible world that we literally they have bodies. They can get into humans because of their sins. They can touch us, but we don't see them, and they're real, and they don't want to they don't want something good for us, So I got really scared, and scientifically I was mind blown, because it was like it breaks a lot of physics, But yeah, I was scared. So something like that. So I was seeking for the truth, and at the same time, I ran to all the most of the Orthodox churches in our hometown. And while I was reading the Bible, I saw that it's nowhere said. It said actually not to pray to angels, and it's not written to pray to Mary anywhere. So I went to all those Orthodox churches, a lot of them in our hometown, and then I talked to all those priests, and I'm like, there are a lot of paranormal activities happening at my place. And they're like, are you on drugs? And I was like, are you a priest? So stuff like that. And then I was asking them a lot of questions like, why do you worship angels? If it's written in the Bible, do not worship anyone but God. And it's not written to pray to Mary or anything like this. And then all those priests, they would always give me some, additional literature, like some elderly of Orthodox culture guys that you need to read also. And I'm like, nah, if it doesn't apply with the Bible, does it really matter? Nah, thank you. So yeah, I had a lot of debates with them. So yeah. And I kept asking for questions, and I was really scared. And my parents suddenly were really, really irritated, Like my mom, she was irritated. My dad, he would scream at me, you're not my daughter, you suddenly became a nun, stuff like that. I was going to nightclubs before that, waking up at different places, and it was fine, But suddenly I kept saying Jesus Christ is Lord, and Dad, I believe that Jesus is real and that he's God. That was different. And it was really scary. It was because my dad, he kept screaming at me. He would throw this stuff in our house, stuff. He was really angry, all the time. And I couldn't understand why. And I felt like I'm 12 years old or 13, I kept quiet and just kept saying God, Dad, I believe that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I kept praying a lot for direction, and just I felt really vulnerable, but it's I just kept quiet and I didn't do anything. And then at some point, my mom, she just sat at the corner of my bed at night, and then she suddenly told me Zlata, Christians, they have no friends. And I just look at her and I was just what's going on? Seriously, this is strange. So yeah, didn't pay attention to that. So yeah, it's weird. It was a really strange time. And then I wanted to come back to Melbourne, and then my mom, she was even screaming you're not ready, you don't fly, and she was like that, but I just kept quiet. So stuff like this. And then I kept seeing a lot of nightmares about coming back to Australia, which was also strange. So yeah, and then I knew that I couldn't understand what's going on, so I prayed for a teacher or something. And then suddenly I found this deliverance minister on the internet, so I texted him a few questions, but then he started asking me a lot of questions. And then I saw that he knew the stuff that was going on at my place even before me telling him. So I completely trusted him straight away, because he asked me such questions that were really happening in my life, but I didn't even tell it to him before that, he could not know about this. So I knew that I saw that he knows this stuff and he knows what he's talking about, and then he asked me to join the Zoom call. So I joined the Zoom call, and then I saw all those deliverance people there, Christians all over the world, not from the US and different other places, and I saw that they're normal people like me, and that I'm not the only one. And then there's a lot of people that experience the same stuff as me, or something similar to that, all over the world. It's all real. And it's I saw that those people, they really know the stuff what they're talking about. They're really smart, they're very intelligent, they're really just normal people, and they started talking to me about spiritual warfare, deliverance. They started teaching me the gospel, the full gospel, the evangelism, the Jesus Christ, why he came to the earth, why he died for my sins, that you should not pray to Mary or not worship angels, that yoga is a sin. They talked to me about my spiritual background, my spiritual history, my ancestors, about sin in my life, whatever I've ever done wrong. They told me that I need to be baptized in water and the Holy Spirit to be born again, to speak in tongues, like to fast, to pray, the book of Acts, everything. They started teaching me everything, And they were so kind, and they spent hours and hours praying for me, praying with me, like every single day. They've been teaching me how to pray and everything. They've been really kind, and then really I saw that they're not asking me for anything. They don't ask me for money. They don't ask anything from me, and they're spending their time on me, every single day. So that was really a new kind of Christianity, and I saw that Christianity can be different, and I saw that they're really kind and they're really generous. And then I saw a lot of things, and then they advised me to watch Derek Prince videos, to read his stuff, and I kept praying and asking God forgiveness, and I've been watching Derek Prince a lot. That helped me a lot. So and then my parents, I told them once about this, and then straight away they started screaming you're in a sect and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, don't think so. Doesn't seem like that, because in a sect they would try to get some information about you they can use against you and stuff like that. These people didn't do that. And so I spent a lot of time with those deliverance people, and after every deliverance session, they prayed for me, I had huge mood swings. I would suddenly burst in anger on other people that didn't deserve it straight after this. So it was crazy. And sometimes, especially after praying, I felt a lot of weakness in my body, and really sleepy and stuff like that. So it's all real. I could feel the changes. So they kept praying and praying for me, and then I flew to Melbourne. I straight away found a full gospel ministry, and I saw those people, and those people started praying with me straight away as well. They kept driving me around, buying me food, spending time with me, texting me on WhatsApp, asking me to join them on Sundays for worship and something like that, spiritual warfare as well. And I saw that they're really nice people, and they're very kind as well, and that Christianity can be really different. If I knew that there is such a way like this before, maybe I would not go to nightclubs and seek some empty lifestyle, because I saw that these people, they're real, they're normal, they're nice, and they're way better than, for example, everything I knew before in a way. So I was fasting different kinds of fasts, like Daniel fast and different other fasts. I kept evangelizing to all my friends, because suddenly I was like, guys, we need salvation. Jesus Christ is real. This is the life. This is the truth. And I was so wrong before, guys. It's we need to pray. We need to fast. We need to do all this stuff. Jesus is real, guys, and stuff. So I kept bursting and buzzing around, and I kept telling to my friends, especially my Muslim friends, having a lot of discussions with them, talking about a lot of things. And then, on the 8th of March, suddenly I got delivered. It was a very dramatic change for me. It was very dramatic because I could literally feel something has been taken out of my body, and suddenly I became myself. It's completely myself, happy again and positive and riding around and happy, just normal Zlata, normal me. And it was a big testimony to my Muslim friends as well, because I kept walking with them everywhere and telling them that Jesus Christ is Lord. But they saw that I was really scared and fearful sometimes, and depressed before that. And then suddenly they saw that I came back to normal me, before all the stuff even happened, like a U-turn, 180. So they saw so they saw a complete change in me, and I suddenly became myself, full of, I don't know how to say that, myself. They saw that, and I told them Jesus is real, so I'm telling you, this is my testimony, that Jesus Christ is real, that he's the Son of God, and the Bible is the truth, and we live in the end of days. So I believe that every single person needs to be baptized in water, and the Holy Spirit needs to be born again, and that we need to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and it's a journey. And prayer is real, really does work. And deliverance people, full gospel ministries, it's really nice people, and it's really your friends. So God bless everyone, and I hope that might be useful to somebody. And one more thing, idolatry is really bad. It's very massive nowadays, and it's everywhere, but it's really dangerous and affects your life. So God bless everyone and have a nice day.